You know what's really exciting for me is watching companies that I've been working for a length of time, watching them just blow up. It's so cool seeing their trucks driving around. Like, knowing I had a small part in that is incredible.
What's up, everybody? You know, everybody's been asking me, Lee, what's going on with this fight? Why are you always talking about fighting? Why are you so aggressive? It's because I think fighting and contracting have some amazing analogies. And I have one of my good friends and training partners that I brought in from the gym, Bryce Lawrence, in here from Vanguard Partners. Not only is he a fighter with tons more fighting experience, but he has a lot of experience helping contractors grow their business. His specialty is operations and processes, and he's been doing it for a really long time. Hey, man, welcome to the Blue Collar Boardroom, man. I'm honored to have you in here, bud.
Thank you, Lee, man. Stoked to be on the show with you today, and excited for what we get into, man.
Absolutely. We're going to be talking about, how fighting and contracting really are similar.
For sure.
Bryce has got a really, really interesting, incredible story. He's fought all over the world, and, we've seen a lot of failures, both in business and in training, and, there's just so many things that contractors really kind of get in their own way, and it's all mental. Mm-hmm. But, it's funny. We were talking about a couple weeks ago, and here's the thing. I'm the sales guy, so I like to say, sales cures all woes. What do you have to say about that?
I think you're 100% right, bro. Like, you can hire the right people, you get the right systems and processes in place. That cash flow is a huge, huge problem with most contractors.
It really is. And to be honest with you, you can fuck up with bad accounting, bad spending your money, bad processes. But the reality is, if you keep, if you're 70% or 50% on that back end, and you're really good on the front end, you're going to end up. Basically, I've learned. When you're fighting, you're getting hit in the face. You just get tired of getting hit in the face.
For sure. Yeah.
And for me, I've always had a problem with moving my head, and I need to have more lateral movement with my jab. And when you're just sitting there and you're taking hits in their business because you can't collect in time, because you can't, hire the person that you need to give you the time. There's usually a few key reasons why. So, you've seen a lot of these contractors come in though that did have sales, but we're still failing. And so, talk to me a little bit about where you think they fail most.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's three parts of every business. Sales and marketing, the first one, right? Mm-hmm. You got to bring cash in the front door. Your next thing is your operations. So your service, your product, whatever that might be for, most of your contractors, roofing. And then the last one is your finance in your office, your team, right? On the back end side of things. So where I find that a lot of contractors fail, the first thing before I even get into that is the reason that most contractors get into business in the first place is they're good at what they do, right? Mm-hmm. They're good at sales for the most part.
Well, they could have been a good roofer, a good carpenter,
exactly.
A good kitchen and bath guy.
For sure.
A lot of them start that way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why they got into business in the first place for the most part, right? And they can sell their product at the end of the day. If they can't, they're not going to last, 6 months in the field that they're in. But eventually you've got to scale, you've got to build a team, you're going to run yourself ragged really, really quickly. They're tired. A lot of contractors, when I first meet them, they're about ready to close their doors. This isn't worth it anymore. I'm just going to get a regular job again. And I find that it's systems, it's processes. They're simple, but we don't take the time to spend that energy and brain power on writing our processes. This is the way I want it to be done every single time. I don't care what roofer you worked for before. This is the way it needs to be done here. This is my expectations before they go hire somebody. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side of that too is finance. Most contractors, they didn't get into business again because they're a good finance guy.
They're not good with their money. They have bad habits.
For sure. Yeah, just like my wife, man. At the end of the day,
I've been taking some vacations, man.
Yeah.
Buying some shit too.
No, a little bit. She likes spending money. I do too. But yeah, man, I think that finances are a huge, huge problem in every contracting company. Like, it's cash flow. You got it coming in the front door, great, but if it's leaving faster, you're not gonna be able to pay your guys. You can't pay your vendors. You're gonna have a problem quick.
If you start getting salespeople and commissions, and you want to get structures for leadership and
for sure
get partnership, incentive with profit, and how do you keep books if you don't have a way to verify your material bills or not overpay?
How do you do job costing? How are you going to bid the next job?
That's the biggest problem I see. They don't even pre-cap jobs.
For sure.
We're going to get into the science of construction. I mean, all my contractors, they want to hear from contracting experts, and Bryce is definitely one of those guys. But one of the coolest thing about Bryce is his background as a fighter. And so, man, how long have you been training? You were talking about fighting in Brazil. Tell us a little bit about your journey and your story.
Yeah, man. I started training. I was 14 years old. Spent a lot of time in and out of jail as a kid. In high school, I was on probation most of my high school high school life, and I went to jail 5 times before I was 19. And when I was 14 years old, I just needed to do something better with my time. I sucked at fighting. I was horrible at it when I first started. Started with a couple of buddies, and it was probably a good 3 years just getting punched in the mouth. Didn't even know why I was going in there all the time. But yeah, one day it just kind of clicked. You know, you play in a video game, you just level up all of a sudden, your character gets a little bit better. And that's kind of how it happened with me. And I'm like, man, I'm not too bad at this. I took an amateur fight. My coach at the time, you know, really talked me into it. And went out and beat up a guy that I was supposed to get just destroyed by. And from there, I was hooked, man. So as soon as I could take more fights, I was taking fights like crazy.
How old were you at the time?
You couldn't fight at the time, even amateur, until you were 18. So I fought and trained for 4 years. And as soon as I turned 18, I took my first amateur fight. And man, from that point forward, and in the meantime, I was always in the construction world. My dad was a GC, you know, I was growing up around it. And so I always found myself in some type of an operations role. And found that I was good at it, but didn't care for it because I really wanted to fight more than anything. Like, that's the only goal I had in life. So every job I ever had was to pay for my addiction to Muay Thai and kickboxing. And,
why do you love Muay Thai and kickboxing?
Bro, because you get, man, I don't know. It's abusive. Like, there's something like messed up. Yeah, bro. Like, there's
Knees.
something weird about getting punched in the mouth that I just started enjoying one day. And yeah, I don't know. It's fun just biting down on your mouthpiece and going to town, you know? Nothing else in the world matters when you're getting punched in the mouth.
Nothing else matters.
You know? That's it.
No, I know. That's kind of what somebody can feel like riding a motorcycle 150 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And chances are we're not going to die in Muay Thai. We're going to get some bruises. We're going to get some bumps.
For sure.
This really ain't that bad. You get your ass kicked. You might have a headache, but
definitely.
You know, you're not going to tear a rotator cuff in practice or fucking like the jiu-jitsu guys.
Yeah, stuff's too lame. So lame.
Come on.
I'm just playing for all my jiu-jitsu guys out there. No, but for real, it's lame. Kickboxing, Muay Thai is way more fun.
I like the jiu-jitsu because you can go 100% in sparring and you don't have the consequences of getting hit in the head.
No, yeah, that's true.
That is a pretty cool aspect about it. You
know, I write everything down because I've been hit in the head way too many times, bro. But yeah, man. And then from there, I went pro. Before I went pro, I won a couple state titles, U.S. title, and a world championship as an amateur.
Kickboxer?
Yeah, kickboxing.
So how do they score that?
Well, it goes off of a point system. And
kick to the head. Do you get points if they block the kick?
No, I mean it's definitely the guy that's doing more of the damage is going to win the fight.
Fucked up more.
Yeah, and the biggest difference between kickboxing and Muay Thai compared to MMA is they stand right in front of each other, toe to toe.
Yeah. If
you're moving back a whole lot during the fight, you're going to get scored really bad. Yeah. Or obviously, you knock somebody out, you win the fight. You know. But yeah, man, and then I got to go fight in Brazil, all over the U.S. Fought for Lion Fight Promotions.
In Brazil, what that was like?
So intense, man. Super intense. It was incredible.
You're the only gringo down there, huh?
Absolutely.
They like to get a little shine on that ass.
Yeah, that's for sure. I the whole week leading up to the fight, I was in Brazil and getting mean bugged by like the whole community the whole time, man. Every time I went to eat at a restaurant, like everybody's like looking at you.
Did you win?
No, I didn't. Yo, I lost by like just a point, man. Like it was a super close fight. The guy that I fought is actually #1 seat in Brazil right now. He's incredible.
No shit.
But yeah, man, and he need the crap out of me. My body, like it was so destroyed, and yeah, it was 5 rounds of just misery. But bro, walking out to that fight was insane. You know Keith, obviously. And Cosmo, and so Keith's like, I've never, for all the fights he's coached for, it was like walking out, and everybody's like, the whole place is shaking, man. Yeah, it was wild. And then
dude, I'll be honest with you, that's what I'm doing it for.
Yeah,
I want one of those days, dude.
Yeah.
and a hand raise at the end.
That's it. Yeah, I didn't get it that time, but
I'm going to promote a
plenty of
big
them.
fight, dude. We're going to build a big card, a contractor fight club, and it's going to be for positive things.
That's
for me, it's
it.
for mental health, and
Yeah.
we're going to get back. There's a lot of talk and stuff about negativity. I want to keep a lot of negativity about squashing the beef and just letting your hands and your feet and the elbows and the knees do the talking.
That's it.
Everybody likes to see the violence. Why not give them what they want to see?
For sure.
And instead of, since we're in a real world community reality TV world, and instead of watching some stupid soap opera or A&E, come to my YouTube channel and, I gotta get ready for a big dude. The dude's about 6'6". I gotta get hard. They say you're the hardest puncher in the gym, man.
Bro.
I need to take a few shots.
Yo, I'll give you a few shots, bro.
Okay.
I'll get you ready. I love the big dudes, bro. The bigger they are, it's just more fun.
It is, isn't it?
That's it.
right.
They go down good. That body's always soft too.
Oh, buddy. Man.
Anyway,
Kicks to the sternum, man.
so good.
Anyways, so talk to me a little bit about how fighting and contracting are the same, dude. All this journey that you had, and before you get into that similarity, tell me about your biggest wins in contracting, like the biggest things you've been a part of, your championship moments in fighting. We heard them. Let's hear about some championship moments in contracting.
Yeah, man. What's really exciting for me is watching companies that I've been working for a numerous for a length
Amen.
of time, watching them just blow up. It's so cool seeing their trucks driving around. Like knowing I had a small part in that is incredible. A lot of companies that I work with, plumbing, electric, AC, all the trades, landscapers, and it's really cool watching companies that they had the sales, they were able to sell, but at a certain point, their systems were so broken that money's flying out the back door, like we were talking about a minute ago. I work for a really large electrician here that does commercial work and
Dude,
all over
freaking
Florida.
home service contractors in Naples, dude.
They're killing it,
the
man.
Mecca, bro.
For sure. And it was really tough. They're doing everything out of Excel. They're doing everything off paper. There's no trail when they receive a job all the way to following up and getting paid. They're just waiting for contractors and GCs to pay them at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And millions of dollars. They're a $20 million company every year. You got 150 guys out on the road. And I know that millions of dollars were walking out the back door that they never even knew about because they're not keeping track of their jobs. So now we're seeing all that stuff. It's all there, from their inventory to scheduling new jobs, to finishing jobs out. It's all being tracked, to AR and collections, all the way through the entire process. We know what's happening on a weekly basis. There's
Huge
reports,
win, bro.
Man. Yeah, for sure. And
So like, is that through technology, or how did you get all that? Because you go from Excel, these guys, they don't know nothing about a computer. How'd you get them to buy in?
Yeah, that's definitely a difficult part with contractors. They're like, yo, I like my paper, I like Excel. But there's some simple software companies out there that do what you need. The hard thing is there's a ton of them. And so you don't know which ones are going to be right for your company. There's a handful of them that I go to over and over again, depending on the type of company it is, the way they conduct business. And you've got to edit them. You've got to make them work for your company because they're basic, they're general when you first get them, and they're packaged a certain way. Mm-hmm. So you've got to find workarounds that work for that specific company. But man, they're at the end of the day, there's stuff like QuickBooks Enterprise, House Call Pro, Service Titan, Builder Trend, all these stuff.
Service Titan's a good one, man.
It's incredible. Yeah.
I haven't built out because they don't really have a roofing aspect of it, but I know that a lot of HVAC companies, plumbing companies, electrical, they swear by it
For sure.
And it's leader, juggernaut in the industry.
Definitely.
Tell me, I guess, the biggest place that you think guys are like overconfident in their contracting business.
Overconfident.
While you think about that, I'll tell you about whenever money was coming out the back of my business. Probably about this year, we had to switch CRMs. My software didn't connect to QuickBooks. It didn't connect to our prospecting and sales management tool. And also, we got a lot of different things that we use. Automated roof measurements, and we have all these leads. It didn't used to be that we advertised on Facebook and Google, and that was a large percentage of our business, 30% of our business. But the problem with that is you need text follow-up. You need to be able to track your cost per lead, your cost per appointment.
Sure.
You got to have systems so that those leads are properly managed. And
Definitely.
what we were doing before was we were using multiple CRMs. Mm-hmm. We were using all these different softwares. And our software that we built was so pure. It worked. My dad built this software. It was our own stuff. We had to punt. and we had to bring in a software that could speak to all the softwares. And, this one that we're using is sort of like an intermediary. We're building our own, but the reality is like eventually we'll outgrow this.
For sure.
And, I can just tell you from my roofing line of work this year in particular, having to manage a supplement internally, a department when we ask for the insurance company for more money, there's a certain amount of follow-up that goes involved, and there's a whole separate department in my company that we...
You got to stay on top of them,
yeah,
for sure.
And our CRM didn't do it, so we had to find a way to... And then as far as collections goes, the hardest part that my guys have is they have insurance, do a lot of insurance work. For me, whenever I was $1 million in debt, it wasn't because I was bad at business. It was because I was building jobs faster than I could sell them, and I didn't have good systems in place, and I wasn't being disciplined.
Yeah.
And so basically that was years and years ago, but we still can have weeks or time where we run at a negative cash flow.
For sure.
And the reality is that implementing the new systems as my business has scaled, bringing in the right operations people, it's been very, very hard. But what we do in my company is we do daily Zoom meetings every day. People might say, we're meeting to death, but that's your job.
Right,
You're supposed to guide your team.
I hate meetings as much as the next guy, but if you need them, like you have to have them, and there's a certain flow to them. They need to be productive, but you can have productive meetings.
What do you think about the EOS process? Have you read the book Traction?
Yeah, absolutely. I follow it super closely for sure.
So talk to me a little bit. Have you ever worked with that process before?
Yeah, definitely. So I use a system that it's based off quite a few different ones. I've had some incredible
Me too.
mentors.
I've read the book Mastering the Rockefeller Habits.
Yep.
It has the one-page plan of attack.
For sure.
Then you got Traction's kind of the new age aspect of it.
Yep.
But I've took from a lot of different other
for sure
shit.
Yeah, you make it your own, definitely.
Yeah. Tell me about yours.
Yeah, so it's super similar to EOS. At the end of the day, EOS is based off vision, people, data, your processes, issues, and then making sure you're gaining traction, right? Bringing all those pieces together. It's at the end of the day, you got to have a goal. So we were talking about fighting and systems and business and what they all have in common. I think there's 4 things. Number 1 is a goal, a vision. Where are you headed? Why are you headed there? Keep that in front of you and your team all the time, because if you keep that in front of your team, they're going to know why you're doing and making the decisions that you're making on a regular basis. If you got to open up more branches and they're like, wait, this one's not perfected yet, but our goal is to have 10 branches across Florida, by, this date. So they're going to understand why you're making the decisions you're making. If you've got a goal laid out and a vision laid out for them. The next one is people, right? You got the right people in the right seats. It's a huge piece for every single construction company. Most owners, they hate releasing anything. They're super, this goes back to what you said, what is it that most contractors think that they're really good at and they're not? I think it's, they don't know how to delegate. And another thing is, side tangent real quick, is their cash flow, their profit margins. They think they're a lot better than they are.
There it was. That's what I was looking for. You got to tell these guys, right? You got to hit them right in the head. Hit them on the head. Bro. You ain't making as much fucking money as you think, you jackass.
Yeah.
No,
100%. You're dead serious, right? 100%. Most people, I come and sit down with them, and they're like, oh, yeah, I do like 30% net. I'm like, if you do, I want to be a part of your business right now. Like, let me get in. I want to be a part of it in any way I possibly can. You don't make 30% net. Most contractors, they don't see their overhead is massive. It's 100% of their labor and their materials at the end of the day. A lot of the time, it's right in line with that. And so, yeah, man, they're all way more broke than
I didn't
they
really
think.
have control because I wasn't having meetings with my team. The one-page plan of attack helped me establish core values, mission statements, and constantly selling my big picture vision of setting the standards for service and growth, being the best in the world at introducing people to the business and facilitating their success, and building a multi-billion-dollar roofing company, the first publicly traded roofing company. This is what we're all in it for. Yeah. And
Lee, the reason you're good at what you do is, number 1, you know what you do.
Yeah.
Right? You know what you're good at. Mm-hmm. And then you go find the right people. So this people aspect that I'm talking about right now is finding the right people, put them in the right seats, make sure that they're taking care of your operations and executing for you. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have them, you're capping yourself out.
Yeah, that's exactly why you're here. We want to bring you in with
Skydiamonds,
help a little bit here. Now, Bryce might be a guest coach inside of Skydiamonds University, but we'll be hearing more about that later. But recently, I was in a boxing gym. I go to boxing gym, Muay Thai, two separate gyms. and came across an older guy, and the guy was a consultant. Yeah. He had an eight-figure consulting career.
No doubt.
And, it was really ironic. I like to follow. I feel like God puts people in front of me, and it's my job to be curious and find out how I'm supposed to move forward with them.
Yeah.
And we had this big company event, and we did a Shark Tank event where basically everybody from the company wrote down what was wrong with certain issues in our company. We put it on the wall. Mm-hmm. And then we broke into teams, and each team came up with ways to solve the problems. They came up with the idea and pitched it to the Sharks. Well, I brought Jason from my boxing gym because I knew he was sharp in business. I had a coffee with him a few times, really impressed by him, as a guest shark.
Okay.
Like, who is this guy? Yeah. Who is this guy? What is this guy? And guy doesn't have any roofing experience at all.
No doubt.
But he's great at running businesses, great at teams, he's a great implementer, and understanding my vision a little bit. And now it's like, I guess, a job interview or free consulting, but turns out basically he joined our team. And first he came on as sort of like a guest inner circle coach, and then he got established as the chief operating officer. And, for somebody to have no roofing experience, come on board my company from a boxing gym, and now 6 months later really feel like doing a great job implementing things.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you that you're only one person away, and what we've led to in our first quarter, highest cash profits. I mean, I care about accrual profits. I do.
For sure.
Because that's big money.
For sure.
But I also want cash on cash.
Bro, that's the only thing I care about, honestly, at the end of the day.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, and in the first quarter of this year, it's about discipline. I found out when this guy came on board that my team was building jobs without money, even though they were agreeing. But since we didn't have a checks and balances and we weren't enforcing, they're talking to me saying what I want to hear, pretending to ride the company line, all while building jobs that weren't funded the correct way under the right process.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, why you got this asshole in here? All his job is to be the asshole. Well,
somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to fucking do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you look at most contractors' weaknesses, they hire friends and family.
Yeah.
And they're nice to a fault. Would you not say that for successful
100%. Nobody, you know what? I always say that as easy as it is to get hired in a company, it should be just as easy to get fired. Mm-hmm. And I don't like firing anybody. I think that we can train people, we can coach people, we can, as long as they've got the right attitude at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. But man, if they're not the right person for the job that you need them to do, they're just not the right person. That's okay. They're going to be better off somewhere else anyways.
You're doing them a favor by getting rid of them.
Absolutely, for sure.
Just thinking about that myself about somebody. We won't go into the details.
No, we don't need to do that.
But it's really funny, man. We train with one of the world's top strikers. I was listening to Joe Rogan talk about him as one of the elite level.
Cosmo's a bad dude.
He's a legend, dude. Yeah. And we're in the presence of a legend. And Keith, the guy who runs the gym, says Bryce is the hardest hitting guy pound for pound.
That's why Cosmo doesn't box with me, bro.
You don't like to trade hands, huh?
I'm not going to talk too much garbage.
You're going to have to take some punishment for that.
That's
Luckily, he's got too much stuff on his own social media. He ain't going to watch this.
No, for sure. Yeah, you won't see it, so I'll talk a little bit of garbage. But no, he's incredible, man. Dude, there's a video floating around. It's probably the most public notoriety I've ever gotten from getting my knees my guts kneed out of my body from Cosmo.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was horrible. The
whole put it on his Instagram.
And won championship, blew it up all over the place. Everybody.
Really?
Oh man, it was so bad. Yeah, he put me down with a nasty.
If y'all don't know this, the one championship's bigger than UFC. There's more viewers. It's in Asia. Cosmo is a fighter there. There's a guy, Sage Northcutt.
Yep, Sage Northcutt.
And he
broke a kid's face, man.
Yeah, broke his face with one punch. It's like the first big blow of the fight in the first round. You have to Google Cosmo Alexander versus Sage Northcutt. And
brutal. Yeah.
But reality is we get to spend every day trading with a freaking legend.
Yeah.
Tell me what lessons you've learned from him as far as executing at the highest level and winning is about winning. His man's got 109 something fights.
That was crazy, yeah.
He's got
it's all mental.
It's all mental.
I mean, yeah, of course, he's a physically incredible athlete, but everybody at that level is. It's in your head. The one thing I don't have anywhere, I've got 24 fights, got 109, so nowhere near that yet. and I don't ever plan to be. But at the same time, like the little bit that I've learned over those fights is that, you know, at the end of the day, I've walked into fights where you could have put anybody in front of me, and I'm very confident I would have won the fight because of my mental space that I was in. I was not in any better conditioning or anything like that for that specific fight. But then I've also got fights I'm like, oh, I'm not here right now. Like my head's not in it. I don't have the passion for this right now. And I got, like, the outcome was obvious. You know, I got beat down for it. And, I mean, my last fight, we're going to watch on June 12th up in Orlando. You going?
So here's the deal. I told my wife, we're going to Costa Rica. And I said, we have to come back early. She said, fuck no, we're not. You don't understand.
It's going to be so good.
The whole family's going to be there. And then we got a, like, retirement fight. For
Kevin Ross and Asa Tempao.
Oh, wow.
So that fight, I mean, Kevin Ross has for sure been like an American idol in Muay Thai for, I mean, decades now. He's incredible. So super excited to see that. And so my last fight was against his opponent, is Asa Tempao.
Oh, that was the last one?
My last one. And I got beat down, bro. It was bad. So anyway, we'll talk about that another time. No, but it was horrible. What's that?
Is there footage on the internet?
Yeah, I'm sure.
He
likes to post it every once in a while too.
You want to look at it?
You can try. I don't like watching that. It's not fun watching that one. No, my legs. I was in a wheelchair for 2 weeks, bro.
Okay.
It was bad, homeboy. I've never been dropped in a fight my entire life. I've never gone down, never quit. The ref came over between rounds 3 and 4. But I'm stoked about this card. We got our boy Kyle Benner on the card. I grew up with Kyle. We lived together for years. This is all we breathed.
This is his first pro fight. He's getting paid,
man. Right? He's getting paid, bro. Nice. I'm super stoked for him. And then Laurie's fighting too. So I love watching girl fights. They're just like
she's
emotional
mean,
and nasty. Yeah, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
But
so I have to tell my wife that we're taking a day off of vacation.
Yeah, my wife's coming. So
and she doesn't understand why.
No doubt.
I said, baby, if we want these people to show up to our fights,
that's
it.
Go
to theirs.
That's it, for sure.
So that being said, I'll have to close the deal on that.
Yeah, you got to sell that one for sure.
So, guys, if you want to gain control of your business, I would say that, you know, the secret sometimes is just somebody to hold yourself accountable. Like,
for sure.
It doesn't really matter who it is. Sometimes you can't see your own problems inside of your business. And the thing is like, for me, what's good about my daily huddle is that, you know, everybody tells me what's working for them, what's not working for them. We have 90-day goals that everybody is really dialed into, and everything is about, hey, what's holding us back from hitting our goals and what are we doing to hit our goals? We kind of follow a little bit of a structure, but through this like group conscious and feedback loop, I hear what's going on and what's going wrong.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times contractors that have bigger businesses, the biggest problem they have is communication. I mean, I can remember when I was trying to do all this without all these meetings, without all these systems in place, without all these people, and I felt like my life, the more I sell, the more my life became hell.
Yeah. Meeting structure is crucial. Like it's communication. Everything that we do, no matter if it's small or large, it's customer and employee communication. Those two things, your business will rise and fall and break and on those two things, communicating with your customers and communicating with your employees.
And, you know, the biggest step sometimes, a guy that needs help, that's not a weak person. A person that's weak is a guy who needs help but doesn't ask for it.
For sure.
You know, I go into the gym, I work out with you, and I don't ask questions. I don't pay attention. I mean, that's stupid. Why would
dumb?
Why would you waste the opportunity to not get all the knowledge that you've gained from all these different fights and all this training? Because one thing about it, coming late to the game, I'm like, man, I did this as a kid, but I just fucking wish I'd have done it my whole life. I mean, obviously there's a shelf to, like, you got to be a professional if you're not going to be a pro fighter, but I just feel like I have a lot of fights to check off my bucket list.
Dude, I'm stoked to see it.
It's something I've been pretty obsessed about.
For sure.
And I'm pretty pumped. So,
yeah, man.
Guys, if you want to talk with Bryce about, you know, helping you with operations, with process, maybe you're one of these different trades, maybe you're in the roofing business and you want some help with the EOS process or his process, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, right here on my website, discovervanguard.com. You can shoot me an email, Bryce@discovervanguard.com, or on social media, Bryce Lawrence for sure.
Yeah, follow him on Instagram. We're tight on Instagram at Bryce Lawrence, or you can go to Discover Vanguard, VANGUR. Yeah, that.
No doubt.
But the reality is, guys, everybody needs a coach. Even Michael Jordan needs a coach. There's an episode of Ed Milet's podcast, his last podcast. He's with Tim Grover. And, you know, winning is ruthless. It's painful. It's whenever you constantly have to get better and you're only judging yourself by number one, then basically you become your own worst critic. And there's a dark side of being a winner. In order to be a winner in Muay Thai, you have to go through hell.
For sure.
You said you can't run away from the kicks. You can't go backwards. There's no ducking and diving.
You get more beat up when you run.
You get more beat up when you run.
100%.
So let's run into making solutions with our business. Let's surround ourselves behind real people that will help you address these things straight on. And people are afraid. If I scale my business, am I going to scale my expenses? Am I going to fail? People are afraid. You know, if I open up to this person, is he going to challenge me? And am I going to be exposed as somebody who can't execute? That's why they don't hire a coach. They don't want to be exposed, and they have lack of faith in themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, like.
Yeah, it's not that what we do. Like for sales and marketing, myself for offense, like finance, operations, like what we do is it's not complex. I'm not a genius, bro. And I'm sorry, but you're not either. Like there's nothing special. We just have perfected this little craft, that we have. And it's what I say all the time. It's like a personal trainer for your business. It's somebody holding your hand that knows a little bit of a better way to work out. You can go work out on your own all day. You know what I mean? But you're going to get better results. You got a personal trainer, somebody who's going to hold you accountable. So that's what we do. You know, we come in and make sure that they're being held accountable to the goals and the things that they said they wanted to. And those fears, they're going to dissipate over time because you got somebody who's going to show you and step by step, hey, this is not that complex. It's really not. And it's just getting out of your own way a lot of the time. Just like in a fight, dude, if you run from the problems in your business, it's going to hurt more. For sure. There's going to be more pain, more agony, more debt, more pissed off customers. You got to face the fear head on. You're in a business where you have to fight. You have to fight customers negotiating, employees being lazy, people trying to take advantage of you, people saying things about you. You know, the reality is, guys, you know, the biggest thing I see that contractors really hold them back is they're afraid. They're afraid. And you know what? Risk is the down payment for success. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this episode of the Blue Collar Boardroom, man. Hey, thank you for coming, Bryce. This was an epic little conversation here. And hopefully we'll do many more. Guys, if you do want to gain control of your business, I highly suggest that you get a personal trainer and somebody to help you with sales, marketing, and operations and finance. For me, I've even had operations and finance coaches here in the last 3 years. I get a lot of sales and marketing coaches. Myron's one of my guys. For sure. One of our mutual. That's incredible. For sure. Coaches but more importantly, you know, Ed Milet, Andy Frisella, a guy named Judge Graham, just high level executors. When I grew my business, in order for me to go from 8 figures to 9 figures in my business, these were the things I had to get in gear. I could always do the part where, you know, we could sell the deals, but the reality was, how happy are your customers? How happy is your sales team? How consistent is the 5-star rating from both people? For sure. And it doesn't matter how much, except for the score at the end of how much profit, how much were you able to pay yourself, how much do the salespeople or the people in your organization rate they like working for your company? For sure. How long do they stay? How do the customers rate working for your company? How many people do they refer? There's no other way to judge a business. That's it. Yeah, and you got to track those numbers. That's it. All right, guys. Well, comment below any questions you have. Look, subscribe, get notifications. We're going to be bringing you great content from the Blue Collar Boardroom, and we're going to be showing you some fights. The Contractor Fight Club is real, and it's going down for real. Lee, thank you. You gonna fight on the card? Yo, if you let me, for sure. We gotta find somebody that can fight you. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I don't know if I'm allowed to. Dude. Am I allowed to do that? I'm not gonna fight you. Fuck that. I don't know. No, I'm not gonna do that. But hey, Lee, man, thank you so much for having me on the show today. Super, super appreciative, and it's definitely fun. All right, buddy.
Appreciate you.